Hey beauties, let's get into this strip lash application. So what you're going to need is either a pair of lash application tweezers or a pair of regular tweezers. It's really going to be preference what you would like to do. And then you want to grab your favorite lashes. Hopefully your favorite lashes are the B.A.B.S Beauty lashes. Let's talk about, or actually show you, how to take the lashes off the packaging. So what I like to do is you want to look at the direction that the lashes are laying and you want to slide them down. They don't usually come off that easily, but you want to slide them down and get them off of the tray. You don't want to snatch them off. You don't want to damage the hairs or mess up the band. So you want to just slide them down. Next, you're going to take a look at them and you're going to see if there's any of that glue residue up there. So that's the glue residue. You want to get that off. So carefully pinch the lash hairs between your fingers. And then if you can, I like to kind of just pinch the glue between my nail and my finger and get that glue off as much as possible without, again, messing up that lash band. You don't want to do a lot of twisting and pulling on it, but get that excess glue off because you want to get your actual lash glue up there. So I'm grabbing my B.A.A.B.S mirror and I'm gonna place the actual lash application tweezers and I'm just gonna do a test run. So what I'm doing now is I'm placing it as close to my lash line as I can to see if I need to trim them. So you want the lashes to basically go from corner to corner. If they are longer than corner to corner of your eyes, then you need to trim them. Now, I messed up on this lash because I didn't trim it because I'm lazy. Um, and I'm going to show you what happens when you do that. So right now, I'm just playing with them and making sure that it is the right length. And this is something that you can do also if you're practicing before you put your actual glue up there. Um, just practice where you're going to place and, take it off, put it back on, and kind of get the hang of it before you actually put your glue on. Next, I'm going to show you a trick that I've learned, which is priming the band or softening the band. So you're going to pinch the lashes as you see and just roll the lashes back and forth. So this kind of helps soften up the band so that it's easier to place it on your eye. And it also makes sure that there's a nice little curve there. So next what I'm doing is I am just going to play with the lash to kind of see where I want to place it. This is something that you can do again just to practice so you're comfortable before you put your actual glue on the lashes. So one way you can put your lashes on is looking straight ahead in the mirror. I can do my right eye in the mirror like this. My left eye, I have to be standing looking in like a wall mirror. So it's a matter of preference. So another way that you can apply your lashes is by actually holding the mirror down, looking down, and then applying it. Again, it's really a matter of preference and it's going to depend on what you're comfortable with doing. I can apply my right eye like this, but my left eye, not so much. So you see there, I'm kind of overplaying with them. I took the glue off so it's not sticky anymore. So now I'm just going to actually apply the lashes. So now I'm just placing the lash tweezers where I want them to sit. Typically you want them to be placed in the center of the lash because that's where you're going to want to lay the lash down first once you apply your glue. But again, it's going to be a matter of preference depending on what type of tweezer you like to use, or if you want to use your fingers, how big your hand is going to be in the way. It's a matter of preference. So I'm grabbing my my white B.A.B.S glue that dries clear, and it has a brush applicator, and I am going to swipe that onto the lash band. And you really want to try to make sure that you're not going to put any of that glue on the actual lash bristles by accident. So you want to brush onto the lash band and get a nice coating on the lash band from tip to tip. And it's going to look like that. I like this glue especially for beginners because you can see once it starts to dry clear that it's getting tacky, because you want it to be tacky and not all the way dry. So I like to do 2 layers of glue. So I'm going to let that dry down a little bit, not till it's quite clear, but you can see it's starting to turn from white to kind of a bluish, and then it'll turn clear. So I'm going to go back with a second layer. So you want to make sure it's enough glue, but not too much glue that you're going to look like an arts and craft project, right? So do another thin layer of the glue, just like that. And you can see parts of it is already starting to dry down clear. Normally I have my little fan, and this glue dries pretty quickly that I don't really have to use a fan. And I probably wouldn't suggest if you're a beginner to use a fan, because you will over dry the glue. So again, it's just gonna take practice. But I do fan it a little bit to get through our tutorial. And now I'm going to try the second method, which is a look down method. So I'm looking down and I'm going to place that lash in the center of my eyelid as close to my lash line as possible. And then I'm pulling the outer corner and tacking that down. Making sure it sticks. And then I'm going to tack down the inner corner. So this is where I said I should have cut the lash, because you do not want your lash to go all the way into that inner corner, because it's not going to stay and it's just going to irritate you if it does stay. But I will show you how to fix that later. And so I'm thinking that this lash is attached, but it's really not, because I was too lazy to cut that lash to trim it down. But it doesn't look bad. These are a very natural pair that I chose. So it's not too bad looking, but I know that that inner corner is going to lift because I did not trim it. It's way too long in the inner corner of my eye, but I'll show you on the next pair how to actually fix that. And you can go back and kind of squeeze those lashes down to make sure they're blended in with your natural lashes. You can put mascara on. I don't like to put mascara on afterwards because I like to rewear my lashes and I don't want them to have mascara on them. So I kind of just like to make sure they blend by squeezing it with my finger instead of adding mascara. So now we're going to grab the second lash. And so remember I told you they don't normally come off as easy as that first one did. So this one is being stubborn. She's being stubborn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of my tweezer and I'm literally just going to kind of stab it and push it down. So I have to hold on to the tray and I'm just going to push it down with the back of the tweezer, or you can push it down with the back of your nails. I just find it easier to use the back of my tweezers, again, because we don't want to rip the lash off of the tray, because that is going to, for sure, pull hairs out and mess up your lash band. All right, so next step, do you remember? Yes, honey. Get that glue off. get the glue off. Getting the glue off is going to make the lash band much more smoother and allow an easier application. So make sure you don't skip that step of getting the excess glue off. Remember, you guys, I told you my left eye is my troublemaker eye. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do this in the camera so that you guys can see me. And I'm going to try to do it the look on method. So now I am cutting because I remember that I did not cut it the first time. So what you want to do is you want to cut the lash from the band side going towards the lashes. Don't cut into the lashes because you'll end up cutting the ends of your lashes that you want to stay. So always cut the excess from the band side, if that makes any sense. Then I'm priming again to make sure I put that curve back in there. And also, if you're not using a B.A.A.B.S lash, it may be a stiffer band that you want to make sure the band is soft so that it's easier for you to attach it to your lash line. So I'm grabbing the glue and we're going in with our first layer. Again, remember, try your best not to get any of the glue on the actual lashes and just on the band itself. And also make sure you get the outer corners because we don't want any flyaway lashes. That's my first layer. Gonna fan it to speed up during this tutorial. And then we're going to go in with the second layer. So like I said before, this glue dries pretty quick. I probably didn't need the fan because this second lash, the glue was almost dry when I put it on my eye, which would not allow me to kind of adjust the lash once I got it on, especially since this is my troublesome eye. But we're going to make it do what it does. And for my left eye, I actually don't do as well putting the tweezers in the center. So I put it more towards where that inner corner is going to be. And I'm able to apply it better that way. Again, it's really just a matter of practice. And trust me, you will get it down. You will get it down. Cross your fingers with me so we can get this lash on. So I'm not doing the look down method because that does not work for me on my left eye. So I am placing it on my lash line and I'm squeezing it down or pressing it down in the center first. As you can see, I switched to regular tweezers because with the lash tweezers, for some reason, I can't see what I'm doing. But for others, the lash tweezers work perfectly for them on both eyes or with their fingers. I have nails, so the fingers don't usually work for me. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to pull the lash over a little bit because it was a little droopy on that eye because I placed it too low. Again, I let the glue dry too much and that's why I couldn't really move it over. But that's also good if you are a newbie because you don't have to worry about getting that perfect placement and then the glue was too wet. But luckily I don't look too wonky eyed. It's not too off because they are a very natural lash. And I'm just squeezing together. You can also squeeze with the tweezers if you would like. I prefer my fingers. And now I'm just noticing that I should have cut that lash. So what I'm going to do is I'm kind of lifting it away from my lash line. And I'm just going to grab the glue and I'm going to just brush a little bit of glue on the actual lash band itself to try and reattach that. So I'm just giving it a second for that glue to get tacky. And if you notice how I kind of tilted my head back and then moved my eyes towards the mirror, that helps to actually stretch out that skin there. And we reattach that lash, so wipe sweat from brow. Now, one other way that you can apply your lashes is to actually take the glue and pretend I don't have my lashes on. So you're going to take the glue, and where you would put your eyeliner, you would swipe across your lash line, let the glue get tacky, and then you would actually stick the lash on top of where you place the glue. Okay, you can do that. I necessarily think about the germs that are going to be on the tip of that you're putting back into the container, but that's on you. I've got lashes on, and we really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it helped you out. See you soon.